I thought I was cheating on my husband. Turns out he's been having sex with me while I'm asleep. Now I'm pregnant. I've got this serious medical thing going on that needs some heavy-duty meds to keep it in check. These meds, they're like a 1-2 punch. They kill my sex drive and send me into snoozeville for what feels like forever. But hey, my husband's been by my side since way before all this medical drama kicked in. He's a real champ. Back in the day, we were all about that hot and heavy action in the bedroom. But now, it's like I'm never in the mood, and it's putting a real strain on our relationship. I feel like the worst wife ever, you know. I miss getting down and dirty with him just as much as he does. Let me paint you a picture. When I pop those meds, I might as well be 6 feet under. You could set off a whole dang fireworks show next to me, and I wouldn't bat an eye. I'm out cold. Anyway, lately I've been feeling even crummier than usual, sick, dizzy, just not right. Thought maybe I'd caught the dreaded COVID, so off to the doc I went. Turns out, I'm preggo. 5 weeks along. Now, here's the kicker. My husband and I haven't done the deed in at least a couple of months. How the heck did this happen? I swear, no cheating, no funny business. It's like the universe played a cosmic joke on us. I spilled the beans to my husband, and let me tell you, he was floored. I mean, what are the odds, right? Given my meds and all, it's like winning the lottery. He went from shocked to thrilled in no time. And me? I was just relieved he didn't jump to conclusions and accuse me of stepping out on him. Didn't even stop to think about why he didn't. It's been a few days. I've been thinking about when I first started taking my medication. It was a real adjustment for my husband, dealing with the fact that I wasn't up for getting frisky anymore. He used to crack jokes about how I could just lie there watching TV while we got it on. Or, and here's the part that's got me feeling all kinds of scared, he'd joke about having sex with me while I was asleep, so I wouldn't have to deal with it, and he could get his kicks. He brought it up a few times, but whenever I put my foot down, he'd back off. But lately, I've been replaying stuff in my head, like those mornings I'd wake up feeling all weird down there, like I'd just been through the ringer. You know, that pelvic pressure that usually only hits after a romp in the hay. My hubby's into the rough stuff, and I've always been cool with it. But now I'm thinking about all those unexplained bruises. I finally confronted him about it. Told him straight up I was scared he'd been doing stuff to me while I was out cold. And I asked him why he didn't even flinch when the dates didn't add up. Well, he flipped. Said I was out of line for even thinking something so awful, that I must be mixing up my memories because of the meds messing with my head. But I remember, clear as day, the last time we did the deed. These days, I can't forget because I'm just not into it. I don't want to freak out. I don't want to convince myself he's been getting busy with me while I'm out. But I also can't ignore the nagging feeling in my gut. It's like the only explanation that makes sense. And now, with a baby on the way, I'm torn between being over the moon and scared out of my mind. What if this little one's here because of something my husband did? Edit. I just want to say the response to this has been off the charts. Seriously, thank you to everyone who's reached out. Right now, though, I'm feeling pretty lost. Not sure which way is up, you know? So I'm going to take some time to mull things over, gather more info, and maybe seek out some extra support, depending on where this whole situation goes. Just to set the record straight, because there are a ton of comments flying around. No, I never gave the green light for my husband to get busy with me while I'm catching Z's. And yes, I straight up asked him if there were ever any times I did anything in my sleep that could be misconstrued as initiating stuff. And he swore up and down that we've never gone there unless I was fully conscious and in the loop. And hey, regardless of what went down, I'm sticking with the plan to keep the baby. That's non-negotiable. If you're curious about how things unfold, I'll drop an update when there's something worth sharing. Seriously though, thanks a million for all the support and advice. It really means the world to me. Update, 2 weeks later. Figured I'd drop a quick update on what's been going down these past couple of weeks. First off, I gotta say, the response to my last post was absolutely nuts. So many kind and helpful folks out there, and I just want to give a big shout out to all of you for being awesome. And yeah, fair warning, this update's gonna be a bit of a novel. So, to set the record straight, the meds I'm on for my condition. They're nighttime meds, because they knock me out cold. And just to ease any worries, let me assure you, if I had a kiddo to look after, I wouldn't be taking those meds, no matter what. Plus, my fertility's got nothing to do with the meds. That's all tied up with my condition. After diving into about 300 comments on my last post, I kinda went down the rabbit hole, you know? Started second-guessing everything, doubting myself like crazy. Ended up at the hospital, chatting with my doc about the meds and their side effects. Asked if they could make me do stuff in my sleep, mess with my memory, or drive me bonkers. And guess what? The answer to all those questions was a big fat no. These meds don't mess around with any of that stuff. And no, I don't have some crazy sleep sacs disorder. And they definitely don't turn me into a memory-less zombie. They're not sedatives, after all. Talked to my obgyn too, who assured me that her pregnancy prediction could totally be off by a few weeks, which would explain the whole bun in the oven situation. Had to come to terms with the fact that maybe I was jumping the gun, freaking out over nothing. Never woke up with any surprise visitors, if you catch my drift. And as for the bruises and pelvic pressure, well, who knows? People bump into things all the time without realizing it, right? I've been talking to this counselor the hospital hooked me up with twice now. Decided I need some serious long-term help to deal with everything that went down. But man, things between me and the hubby, not great. I straight up accused him of assaulting me, and let me tell you, that kind of accusation, it wrecks a relationship. I was mad at myself, big time. Spent pretty much the last couple of weeks holed up in the bedroom, feeling like the lowest of the low. We barely talked, and when we did, it was all baby talk. I think deep down, I knew it was game over for us. A couple of days back, I went in for another ultrasound at 7 weeks, just to check in on the little bean and maybe ease my mind a bit. Turns out, my obgyn got a better peak this time. That original 5-week prediction, totally off. With a bit of wiggle room for safety's sake, I was more like 8 weeks along, pretty darn close to the night I remember us getting busy. And just to clear things up, no, we didn't use protection. Hubby's not a fan of condoms, we're loyal to each other. And heck, I've been told since my teenage years that my chances of getting knocked up were next to nil. I felt even more like crawling into a hole after that bombshell. And then, we had a blowout fight, and he got all icy and nasty. A couple nights ago, we actually watched a movie together, and it felt like the closest we'd been in ages. I mean, the fact that he even wanted to hang out with me kind of felt like a win in my book. But as soon as the credits rolled, he hit me with a bombshell, asked if I really thought he could have raped me. Cue the waterworks from yours truly, and he just went off, demanding an answer. But here's the kicker, instead of waiting for my reply, he starts cackling and says there's no way he could have gotten me wet enough for the whole shebang. Real classy, right? Turns out, he was just taking a cheap shot at my health. See, my meds not only kill my sex drive, they make it damn near impossible for me to get in the mood. And get this, when we do the deed, we gotta break out the industrial-sized bottle of lube to avoid any tearing and bleeding. So when I told him his joke wasn't funny, he actually thought it was hilarious. Cue the epic showdown about my accusation and how it made him feel. I tried to apologize, told him I was just scared out of my mind that he wasn't who I thought he was. Well, he wasn't done dropping bombs. Confessed that he'd tried to finger me a few times while I was out cold, but never got anywhere. According to him, that doesn't count as rape, because, we're married and it wasn't his full package. And just when I thought it couldn't get any worse, he admitted to some other messed up stuff, like trying to get me going while I was snoozing, and even using my hand to lend him a hand a couple times. So that's the truth of it. Our little bun in the oven was cooked up while I was in the game, but my hubby straight up confessed to messing with me while I was out like a light. But get this, he's all hung up on the idea that 'cause we're hitched, it can't be considered rape. He's sticking to that story, and according to him, I'm the one who's off her rocker for thinking otherwise. Maybe I am, I don't know. After all, he's my husband, and the whole concept of marital rape. That was news to me until I spilled my guts in that first post. Now, I'm sitting here, feeling like I'm at the end of my rope. I don't have any family outside of him, and my circle of friends ain't exactly huge. Plus, with COVID messing everything up, I can't exactly crash at anyone's place. And making new friends, that's always been a struggle for me. Money's tight too, especially now that I'm out of work. But the thought of leaving? Terrifying. I might not be Einstein, but sticking around feels like a dumb move. We haven't been sharing a bed since he came clean about his little nighttime escapades. He's bunking in the living room, and I'm holed up in the bedroom, trying to catch some shut while dreading the thought of another round of arguments. It's been like this for a couple nights now, and honestly, it feels like the end of the line. I'm just not sure where to go from here, or even if there's a we anymore. He's convinced he's done nothing wrong, and he's furious at me for thinking otherwise. But hey, I'm hanging in there. I want you all to know that. Yeah, I'm feeling lost as all get out, but I'm gonna be okay. And to everyone who's been rooting for me, Whether you believe my story or not, thank you. Seriously, it means a lot. Even if we've never met, it's nice to know someone out there gives a darn. And to those who reckon I'm just spinning tall tales or whatever, thanks for at least making me feel a bit less alone. Every little bit helps.